Hello, 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 beautiful people.
And welcome back to Everything Is
With Eva
and Lauren.
Yeah. Today we're talking about how everything is Tumblr.
Literally, what an iconic era of so many people's lives.
I'm kind of fake because I as a child or like as a preteen didn't have the actual app Tumblr, but my entire Instagram feed was just Tumblr posts, so I still knew everything that was like going on there. I just wasn't getting it directly. And the only reason for that is because like it's my same thing with Twitter. Like the way that Tumblr is set up as an app would frustrate me so much because I couldn't figure out how to use it in the ways that I wanted to. That's the same reason I don't have Twitter. Like I don't know how to get it to do what I want, and I get too frustrated, so I undownload it.
That is actually really funny. I was thinking I was like trying to tap into the brain of my older sister because in my whole life she's been such a Tumblr like fanatic. Like if I know someone that uses Tumblr, it's Mia.
Yeah.
And like I was like, I have to get into her mindset for today's episode. Literally. But Tumblr, I agree. I also got really frustrated by how to use it. I had that same issue with AO3, and then Mia had to like... I
love AO3.
Literally, Mia like showed me like how to use it. Like she sat me down and was like, this is how you do different things and this is how you find things out.
That's so, yeah. Oh my God. Hi, Dan.
Literally.
Yeah, no, I love AO3. And they go hand in hand, honestly. But like I've just been noticing more and more throughout, last year and then this year too, how present Tumblr has been again. Like the people are yearning for Tumblr eras. Like Halsey is on tour, and we're seeing the Badlands tour.
I'm literally so insanely excited. Wait.
Bruh.
No.
Bruh. Can you like learn where things are? Nope.
Okay. We're going to see Halsey in concert.
I'm going to turn to Toad.
But anyways, so like, I kind of wanted to start off today's show by like giving a little background about what Tumblr is. A lot of our audience might not even know like in the ways that it was influential and stuff. So,
right.
Hey, they might not know.
They might
not know.
Might.
And for those that do know, here's a little refresh on the background of Tumblr because I didn't actually know it. So this is all new information to me. But basically, Tumblr is it's a microblogging social media platform. So basically it's like microblogging and also like photo posting, etc. It was produced by David Karp in 2007, owned by the company Automatic, but it was like owned by Yahoo for a really, really long time after it was sold from the company Davidsville, because like David Karp had his own company called Davidsville, and they created it because it was like in contrast to Twitter.
Yeah.
And then it was like Twitter, you could only write 140 characters. And then it was like...
Oh, Tumblr, you could write like whole books.
Yeah, literally. It was like, because it was like... I was actually scrolling through a little Reddit post and they said that like this person, Medusa's sexy long hair, hair, said that like Blogger and WordPress, etc. were for long form blogs, Flickr was for photos, and YouTube was for videos. And Tumblr made it easy to do any/all of that stuff right in one place. It had a simple UI that encouraged people to do that stuff. So it was pretty cool and spawned a really diverse community. And then with other like social media sites, it like just kept on growing. And Lauren and I were talking about before this that they like really... like you really took a lot of like Tumblr content through Instagram, and then it was like widely shared through like other social media platforms. So it's like there's definitely a chance that everyone here has seen at least a Tumblr post once, whether it be through Tumblr or through like any other platform.
You see screenshots of tweets on Tumblr and Instagram
and on TikTok now.
And then you see screenshots of Tumblr on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok. Like everything is just getting shared everywhere. And the TikToks you see on TikTok are just reused as Instagram Reels like a month later. Fun fact about WordPress, up until almost 3 years ago, UIC was using WordPress to publish our blogs. And then 3 years ago, when Eva joined radio, we switched to using Wix.
Yeah. It was like, I'm using WordPress for a class right now. And so it's like
it was interesting.
definitely interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like
It's not like Wix is better.
but basically Tumblr gave people like this way to show a part of themselves all in one hub basically. And so what's actually funny is that I'm learning about this in my I'm taking a communication class right now. And one of the things that we were learning about was like what makes innovation good enough for people to start using it, basically. What makes it different enough for people to migrate over to this other platform from the platform they are currently using, you know? And the example that she gave in class was like Snapchat became really, really huge in 2014. Basically 2014, 2015.
2014-ish.
And so it was like people were on Instagram already, but Snapchat was so big because they had a new idea. It was like the 24-hour chats, nothing is saved, and then you have this whole second camera roll where Instagram all saved to your own camera roll. And then it was like the duality of like what makes this app good enough for other people to move over. It's new enough and has new enough qualities that is like interesting enough for the community. And it has like aspects that are like long term able to be like implemented into people's lives. So like streaks are long term. It keeps people coming back to the app.
Streaks were like the biggest thing. I mean, the 24-hour thing, but like, yeah, the streaks, like you are still on Snapchat. Yeah. My roommate is still on Snapchat just because of streaks.
Yeah, exactly. Like I have like a over 2,000 day long streak.
Insane. I knew someone, one of my friends has a really long streak with one of his friends because he sends like every meal, like a picture of every meal to them, and like it goes back and forth. And like it's so interesting.
Yeah. And it just like it opens up a lot of like different possibilities, which goes into like now that Instagram has like these qualities again, more people are migrating back to Instagram. So like Instagram now has these like photos that are like temporary chats now. Yeah. Like you have a temporary chat option. Yeah. And so it's like
it's low-key scary.
The only thing that they don't have is that like memory process. But Snapchat is now making you pay for more and more things.
Yeah.
So they're digging themselves into
Snapchat
a whole kind of
is crazy.
Yeah. I know.
Snapchat.
I only knew like 2 people ever that did it. And I like don't even understand why they would.
The Bitmoji. Not Bitmoji. Were they Bitmojis?
Yeah, you can get the Bitmoji, but then also like the background of the chats would be a picture. You know what I mean? Like you can set it to any picture.
That too.
Yeah, exactly. And then so it's like the merging of apps, but because Instagram had roots, it's like Snapchat doesn't have as many roots, and now they don't even they have like some cool things. Yeah. But now Instagram also has those cool things. Yeah. And Instagram has roots. Like you've had an Instagram, like by the time Snapchat came around, I guarantee you everyone listening, if not everyone listening, already had an Instagram account.
I think I made my Instagram account in like probably 2013, yeah, 2012, yeah.
Literally, like I think I was like 8 or 9 when I made my Instagram
my parents
Instagram
didn't
account.
know, and my aunt outed me. not the last time she outed me, but they were both accidents.
That's really funny, actually.
Yeah. Shout out Heidi.
But yeah, basically, and so like Tumblr, like tying this back all to Tumblr, is like, so Twitter had these like cool character, like Twitter was established. Yeah. Twitter had these like cool character, etc. YouTube also established, but YouTube only videos. So like what was like a mix of like the two that would like have enough of a community? And so Tumblr took like the character, like both of those aspects and combined it into one. Like I'm not going to say it's a perfect platform. No. But like
clearly the interface is like weird.
And there's so many things that go into like regulation, like content regulation and safety.
There was no content regulation back then.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of,
not even on YouTube.
No, there was like very, very little content regulation. Well, everything was so new. Yeah. Like YouTube was officially launched in 2008, I believe.
Something like that.
And then Tumblr was officially launched in 2007. I believe Twitter was around 2005, somewhere around Facebook. Oh, and then there's Facebook.
Yeah,
which
Facebook.
is also like the photos and stuff.
Evolving.
But like, you know what I mean? There's like so many different things. And so like a certain community took like like took on Tumblr
Yeah.
and really like made it rise. And they bought, so Yahoo bought Tumblr for $1.1 million from David's company, Davidville.
Which at that time is like an insane amount of money.
Yeah, on May 20th, 2013, it was $1.1 billion. And think about what $1.1 billion is in 2013. That is like 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to say that it's like a huge difference, but it is a recognizable difference. And so it's like there's a lot of different things that you have to like, I don't know, it's like it was really fascinating to learn all this kind of stuff because it was like you really get to see like what Tumblr did well. But then like there is, again, like we're definitely have to talk about like some of the stuff that Tumblr did not do very well.
Content wise.
Yeah. But basically that was the beginning of Tumblr. And then in 2019, Verizon Media sold Tumblr to Automatic, which is the current owner. And I'm not seeing how much it was.
I can look it up.
But oh my God. I'm so sorry. I'm scrolling down this Wikipedia page right now, and it's just going way downhill for Tumblr right now. Okay. So in November 2022, Mulweg, who is the CEO of Automatic, stated that Tumblr would begin selling in 2024. Automatic announced that it would begin selling user data from Tumblr and WordPress to Midjourney and OpenAI.
Insane.
Tumblr users are opted in by default with an option to opt out.
Let me opt out.
In August 2024, Automatic announced that it would migrate Tumblr's backend to to increase like code sharing between platforms. It's gonna like move over to like the WordPress architecture. Oh my gosh. And then in April 2025, Automatic announced layoffs for 16% of its workforce, reducing a large portion of Tumblr staff.
Yeah, Tumblr has like really been dying recently.
Yeah.
Since
like,
I want to say, honestly, since like 2019, I feel like Tumblr really has gone down. I think honestly, since the popularity of TikTok, people moved from Tumblr to TikTok in a lot of ways because there was a whole like straight versus gay TikTok, and like it became a lot easier to make those communities that you found on Tumblr through TikTok because of how good the algorithm is. And like,
yeah, but basically one of the reasons why Tumblr, I'm like scrolling through this like Reddit page and like taking all this information from Reddit users. But basically it said that one of the reasons why Tumblr lost a lot of its net worth and population is because there was a lot of explicit imagery on Tumblr that was uncensored. And so it was like either drawn or like photos or stuff like that, or videos. Like there was a lot of like, there was like a like pornographic aspect to
very much so.
Like the Tumblr content database. And according to Anna Juna Speaks 23 on Tumblr, it said that, so they called it the Great Porn Purge, which caused the net worth to go from 3 billion to 200 million. Because there was a large, like so much of the population that was using Tumblr basically deleted or didn't have any more use for their accounts because they were mostly using it to view these like pornographic images.
Yeah. I mean, like, to view them, to publish them, like, artists were on there, like, publishing whatever, their art, obviously. Yeah, the sunset's beautiful. And I mean, like, it went from, like, basically no censoring to very strict censoring. So it impacted not just, like, the nudity and pornographic aspect, but, like, a lot more than just nudity was censored. And also, there was a lot more explicit imagery and descriptions than just, yeah. A lot more explicit imagery and descriptions than just the like nudity or pornographic aspect. There was a very large self-harm community on Tumblr, and like eating disorder culture also really thrived on Tumblr. It was like you would see these, I mean, they were influencers. They really were influencers. Who were like bone thin. Pro Anna was a huge thing for Tumblr. And like someone who got really popular was Jessie Page, and I really liked her for a while because she talked a lot about her like recovery from anorexia, which was really beautiful. But she started out on Tumblr being, you know, kind of like a Pro Anna queen. And like you see Eugenia Cooney, who
really built up her community through like her like harmful
habits or behavior. I mean, and she still does today. It's horrible. Like it's really hard to see. Yeah, there were a lot of communities on Tumblr outside of just like the pornographic aspect that were shut down because of the censorship. And like that's not necessarily a bad thing because once again it was basically completely uncensored. Like there was a lot of really impactful things for like preteens and even teenagers to see at such a young age with like no warnings, no like overview. It was truly like complete internet access. You could see anything that you wanted to or didn't want to. Like you think that Twitter's bad with there's a lot of gore on Twitter, and like even like pornography on Twitter. Tumblr had all of that and then some. But
yeah. And also I have to add that like in some ways it was like it could be beneficial because like Tumblr was like very damaging and had very damaging like characteristics. It also really like promoted a sense of community for a lot of queer like people, especially like young queer people that were searching for a community. With a lot of these like fan bases, while they did have like really unfortunate aspects to them, sides to them, faces, if you will, there was also like a very thriving, positive community associated with a lot of these like, well, like I know a lot of like specific like groups related to like animated content or
Super Hulock was a huge one.
Huge, yes.
Like even like Harry Potter.
Yeah.
All of that. A lot of queer and like even just creative people were really able to find a sense of community on Tumblr. And you were able to like nerd out, and it was an escape from the real world. In like 2013, people weren't very kind, I would want to say.
Yeah, it was just like a different community when it came to like acceptance. Definitely. And like we've grown a lot as like a world in accepting queer people. Mm-hmm. And like even gay marriage was like legalized after everything, like after all that kind of stuff on Tumblr and stuff. So there's a lot of like depth to it. But I don't know, it's just like knowing that some beautiful friendships were created because people were like able to like nerd out about the same stuff. It's just like such a beautiful. I have to sidetrack for a second. I'm so sorry. The sun is setting and like the studio is like such a golden, like yellow color. I'm actually thriving. And also before this, Lauren and I both got Dirty Dr. Peppers separately of our own accord.
Yeah. No, it was. ASMR.
Fresh. But anyways, I'm so sorry. I had to sidetrack for a second. And just like the studio is such a beautiful golden color right now, and I'm actually living for it.
So if it sounds like we're distracted, we are. Yeah, no, beautiful. But anyways, let's talk about the effects of Tumblr and what it means for something to be like so Tumblr. And like why we say that like Tumblr is really in some ways coming back. It's not necessarily the app that people are talking about, but it was what was on the app or like associated with the app. So something that was like really popular was like pastel grunge, which I think is like just a really fun thing, like concept. And it was basically like a sense of like 90s grunge or so, but with, you know, like pastel hair or like color, a lot of color brought into it. And it was basically the same, a very similar aesthetic, but with color. And it was just something that like was like definitely really popular. There's this little like drawing where it's like all the like subcategories of people like on Tumblr. It's my favorite thing.
Should that be our cover image for today's?
Yes. Let me look it up.
But yeah, there's like the pastel goth, alt girl, soft girl, like emo, I think, right?
Yeah.
I always growing up, I always wanted to like be the alt girl aesthetic.
Oh my god, do you remember DeviantArt?
I do remember DeviantArt. I was never on it though. Oh, here, this one, right?
Yes, how'd you find that so fast?
I'm really quick with it.
Bruh, okay.
Okay. So there's the
Where is
hipster, the hipster, the hardcore girl, the pastel goth, the swag Asian, and the kawaii girl.
Like, it's
just like, it's so Tumblr.
it really is.
And
Over
it just
the
like,
summer, I was so hardcore girl.
you were so hard. It's just because your hair was blue.
Well, yes.
Yeah,
no.
I just feel like it adds, like, there's just so much, I don't know, there's so much variety when it comes to Tumblr. Like,
It makes me annoyed though that it's called pastel goth because it's I misspoke earlier. It's pastel goth, but it's grunge. It is grunge. But like all these aesthetics were really prominent on Tumblr, and like even the like there's this like hashtag that has been used so much recently. It's like hashtag 2014 because it gives like 2014 vibes, which is basically just like, you know, like a 2010s type grunge. And it's with the dyed hair and flannels and fishnets and probably a cigarette and like a monster. It's so fun to see.
and also at the same time, as like everyone, well, if you're familiar with like the movement of like social media movements or even just fashion movements, it's like the whole like 10-year thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like history repeats
It's 20
itself.
years.
Oh, sorry, 20 years. So it's like history repeats itself, and every 20 years, it's like there's a resurgence of like the things that were popular at the time, etc. So in the recently, as has been like the case like the last couple of years, it's like Y2K movement is coming back, definitely like 90s to early 2000s, like all that kind of media is like having a resurgence. And so with the resurgence of Tumblr, it's like it really fits into that like narrative basically, because it truly is people trying to feel nostalgic for that time period, especially because like governmentally, financially, there's a lot of like similar patterns that are going on right now. And so people are regressing to like those kinds of movements and those kinds of shows. And even now, like there's like 20-year reunions of like popular teen dramas that are really coming back into the media.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I feel like a couple of years ago, it was like the whole 2010s thing. And then even now we're like going farther back which is a very interesting thing for me, at least. Like, I don't have that sort of background when it comes to like Lauren has a lot more experience when it comes to like fashion and history of fashion and stuff like that. But I feel like even now, like sometimes I feel like I'm really seeing like the 2016 fashion, and then it's like sometimes it's even further back. And like I feel like the more the time goes on, the further back people are reaching. But then that could also be the groups that I'm like surrounding myself with.
Yeah, I mean, supposedly we're supposed to be in like 2005 in terms of how like aesthetics and like trends should be. But if anything, I think that the 20-year trend cycle has sped up. And I've definitely talked about this before because, yeah, there is a lot of influence currently from like the 2010s, especially from like the early 2010s. And like we're more in the late 2000s, early 2010s era than where we kind of should be, considering like the 20-year trend cycle. But, you know, it's also not perfect, and it just takes inspiration from like the 2010s took a lot of inspiration from the 90s, and you can see that with like the popularization of grunge and even rock. And yeah, like with what Eva was saying with all the reunions and stuff, there have been so many like album re-releases. I know Panic at the Disco just had a 20-year celebration for their album A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. Fall Out Boy had
one of the best albums.
Oh yeah, Fall Out Boy just had one for Under the Cork Tree, and even Halsey. The show that we're seeing on Sunday is the 10-year anniversary of the Badlands album, which is insane. Insane that it was like
10
only 10 years ago, but also already 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's something that I've been really grappling. So we are 21 years old right now.
Yes.
As of this recording.
Yes.
And that's something that I've been like really grappling with. I feel like a lot of the people I surround myself at least have been talking about like reminiscing a lot, nostalgic for like the people that used to be. So like there's like the popular meme on like I've seen it on Instagram, but I think it actually comes from Twitter. But it's like being 21 is liking all the same things you liked at 13, but like being proud of it this time. Yeah. And so basically I feel like that's something that I've been like really dealing with is like not regressing because it's like I'm not going like it's not a downhill kind of thing, but it's like I'm re-evaluating these like medias that I like really loved growing up, and like especially like 10 years ago, like we were like 10 years ago we're 11, so it's like 11 12 like 6th grade. And so it's like
Percy Jackson,
6th grade,
shout out
6th grade to 7th grade to 8th grade to freshman year. Like that's such an influential time.
Hello.
Yeah, literally.
Let me know if you know what Voltron is.
Yeah, slide up.
I love Voltron.
Slide up if you know what Voltron is. But I don't know, it's just like it's like honestly reevaluating like the stuff they used to love and like falling back in love with it.
I think you're like figuring out who you are more, and so you're looking back at who you used to be, especially like what you're listening to, what you're watching, everything from when you're like around 13 does really stick with you. I think like I'm pretty sure there's something with like the music you listen to when you're 13 or so like impacts the type of music that you will listen to for the rest of your life, because that is when you truly start to like gain consciousness, become who you are. And then throughout your teenage years, due to a mix of like social pressures and hormones, you kind of repress that part of yourself. You repress who you are to become like who you think you should be. There's also a lot of stress. And so, well, okay, not like stress decreases, hello, but like the shame aspect really starts to go away because you start to learn that like it's okay to be who you are. Like
for
be who
your pride.
Like hello. Yeah, like it's okay to be who you are, and you're relearning who you are / learning who you are, stepping into your adulthood and kind of your true personality. Like I know every year that I get older, I feel more like myself than I used to be. And when I was a little kid, littler, I had a like plan-ish for how I thought my life would look. The characters that I really liked or like associated myself with were a certain way, and I really thought that I was going to be that kind of person. And then in high school, or like especially like my senior year or so, I wasn't really that person. And since being in college, I have become the type of person that I thought that I would be. And it's really weird. And like, you could also say that it was maybe the people that I was around, but I don't know. Like, there was also just a lot of shame for me personally around it.
I agree. I feel like, honestly, I really resonated with what you said about like not feeling like you were yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there was a good, like, I don't know, like multiple years, I guess, where it was like some moments. It's just like, it's an undescribable feeling. Like, I can't say like, oh, I felt this way because of this thing. I just know that like, it felt like I was like, I don't know, you felt true to yourself.
Yeah.
You know? And so there was definitely moments in like these past couple of years where it was like really hard to figure out like who I am. And I feel like as a person, I'm really introspective. I like to really like, I don't know the nitty gritty about the things that I'm thinking. And
yes. I like to know why I am the way that I am. And
Exactly.
also how I'm perceived.
Exactly. And so like definitely it's been a process of like even now, like sometimes like I love to stretch myself really thin because I like to like, I don't know, I like to do a bunch of things, and now it's like now I need to really truly like figure out what makes sense for me. And I feel like this next semester is going to be really interesting. But anyways, I feel like I'm straying really far from our original topic. But yes, like coming into yourself basically and rediscovering all these different things. And I think also maybe that's why our generation is reaching back into Tumblr, because a lot of these like experiences happen during these middle school ages.
Yeah.
And so it's like you're now looking for that same sense of nostalgia that we were just like discussing, and you're like, again, I keep writing the word regressing, but that's not what I mean.
Regressing is like not,
because you're not going downhill.
I don't, in my head, regression isn't necessarily a downhill trend. I think of it in terms of like a cycle, and you're just back to where you were before, which is going to happen. Or like maybe it's like on like a slider, and like it's, I don't see it as like a positive negative thing necessarily, or like a vertical thing. For me, it's either circular or horizontal, where like you can go in between. You can always come back. To regress is, it just means to go back. So I think, I would say that it's the right word.
I like the way that you like, I love a cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate a cycle.
What? It's like
I like some, but
I don't know. It's like, it's a comforting thing to know that there was like, that there will always be another chance, another opportunity to experience this thing again.
That is true.
You know?
Yeah. Like Tumblr.
Like Tumblr.
Literally, I just started using it again within this past year, and it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. I love it so much. I actually need to use it a lot more, because I have I have kind of fallen off, just because I've been like busy with other things and like school especially. But like, no, I see with just the music that has been coming out recently, especially like, what's that one band, Between Friends?
Mm-hmm.
They would have blown up. The repopularization of like Snow Strippers, and like
Charlie XCX,
even Two Hollis would have fit like right in, with all of that. Like it really makes sense, you know?
It really does make sense. And I was just thinking like, with the going kind of back to the Halsey thing, like she just re-released her Badlands album.
Yeah.
Like she released like a re-singing version of it. And I don't know, I feel like she's not the first artist to do that this year, or like these last couple of years.
No.
Like there's been a lot of like bands themselves are feeling nostalgic for their old music and like redoing it.
And coming back. We went to Riot Fest this year.
Oh my gosh.
And there were
so many comebacks.
Yeah. So many comebacks. It's really insane. Like, and like in some ways I do think that it's tied to politics, because a lot of these bands, especially at Riot Fest, are of course like rock, more like
punk.
Yeah. And so it makes sense that they come back with music when they have something that they want to say. That is how art works in a lot of ways. And like I was saying this to Eva yesterday during my radio show, but because I did the Halsey Badlands album for my show, like listening to that album affects me in both the same way that it used to and also a completely new way, because before that, like when I was listening to it the first time when I was like a young teenager, I was kind of just like imagining these things, you know, like I definitely connected to part of what she was saying, or like the reasons why, but like having lived more life since then and become older and been able to like do more things, and I've done a lot of things, it's just like it's interesting that the way that I'm able to connect to it now is like as having experienced more of it, or like honestly most of it. And yeah.
It's just like, what a beautiful time to be alive.
Yeah.
It's like beautiful but horrific a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, there are good things happening.
There are great things happening. And I feel like you just have to look at the positive aspects. New York just elected Zoran as mayor.
Yeah.
Congratulations, New York City.
I know. I'm so happy.
Yeah. Actually, like kind of tying this in, but like speaking of like LGBTQ movements and stuff like that, that's something that Zoran in his like candidacy has really made it like clear that it's very important to him.
Mm-hmm.
He actually, with like the last couple days before the elections, he was advertising in like LGBTQ bars and nightclubs and stuff to like specifically trans and queer communities, because he believes, like he has a strong belief for like putting in work towards like resources and like just positive. Like I'm trying to remember exactly what the statement was, but he's putting, I believe it's $65 million into like the trans community through like different charities and working with them towards like creating spaces in New York City and stuff like that. It's really admirable work.
It really is.
And like Tumblr was actually known for like having a lot of transphobia on the application, as like, you know, low content regulation, etc. It was like it got it basically said from the wiki, Tumblr and its users often spar about the application of the website's adult content ban allegedly being maliciously misused to target transgender people, especially transgender women. Repeated bans of Black, transgender, as well as leftist political blogs removed alongside alleged legitimate propaganda accounts accused of election interference during the 2020 and 2024 U.S. presidential elections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
It has led communities to view Tumblr as an anti-Black, transphobic, rainbow capitalist, and rightist website, even with a larger focus on an alleged history of transphobia.
Yeah.
SMH Tumblr.
I know.
Zoran would be very disappointed.
That's really funny.
Literally. But honestly, it's been kind of insane. But on a more positive note, there's notable matters at the end of this like little Wikipedia page. And the first notable matter, it says on October 21st, 2011, then U.S. President Barack Obama created a Tumblr account.
I love him so much.
Literally, yes, Barack Obama, get on Tumblr. I wonder what he was using it for.
To talk to Harry Styles. Hello.
Yeah, he was using it to talk to Harry Styles. They had to create, they had to go through Tumblr.
Yeah.
So they didn't, no content regulation and all that.
Exactly, you know.
Literally.
You know.
But
I would know because One Direction adopted me when I was like, I don't know how old I was. I think I was like.
Didn't they buy you?
No, they adopted me.
They adopted you?
Yeah, it was kind of weird though because I was like 16. So like, It was like they
5
were
years
like
ago.
yeah. I know they let me come to college. It was really nice of them. Yeah.
It's because they want you to be educated.
Good.
Yeah.
They support educating people.
How does it feel that one of your adopted fathers has died?
I mean, I was heartbroken.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, I wouldn't really call him an adopted father. Like, I had a really interesting dynamic with all of them because, like, yes, legally they did adopt me and they were my guardians, but it wasn't really like in a necessarily familial way. It felt like I was just like kind of like part of their team, like part of their group, you know?
Gotcha.
Like we were like friends.
Like socially on the same level.
Exactly.
Even though they like you were adopted by them. Honestly, you should tell a story about that. You know, there's this website called
I just did
AO3 that would really eat that up.
Well, I mean, the people here are hearing it first. But who knows? Maybe if you look it up, you'll find out all about
you put
my
your
story.
hair up in a messy bun and ran downstairs.
I had a piece of toast in my mouth too. Like, it was so embarrassing. My sweatshirt was like hanging off of my shoulder.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I looked
like
a
makeup
mess.
from yesterday.
Yeah. Ugh. It was so evil. God, yeah. That like reminds me of something. Makeup from yesterday was like sleeping in your makeup and like wearing it the next day was like low-key really romanticized. And like Kesha talks about it.
Mm-hmm. It's like very grunge based.
It is. Courtney Love talks about it. I think that was in the 90s though. And like I feel like even though there's been a big emphasis on like clean girl, this element of grunge has become or has been, I feel like it's remained very stable. And like the whole concept of like slipping your makeup has been romanticized again. And like, it's just so crazy. It's so crazy to me.
It really is. And it's just like that goes in actually with our conversation from earlier of like just like promotion of unhealthy habits.
Yeah. Oops.
It's like, well, because it's like it's associated with a certain type of lifestyle and therefore making it cool when it's like actually not. Like I'm not like, well, we were talking about Anna culture like earlier this podcast. And then that kind of ties in with the whole like, oh, I'm just going to have a cigarette. I'll just skip breakfast and have a cigarette.
No, literally. Let me get an iced coffee and a cigarette.
And then it's like surviving off of that for multiple hours of the day.
Or the entire day.
Or the entire day. Not drinking water for some reason. Like,
yeah, I don't really know what is up with that.
Literally, there's just like, and it goes into like, kind of like a dirty culture, right? So it's like you're grunge,
like grungy,
you're like like you're not, it's like the opposite of this like clean girl aesthetic where you're supposed to like take care of your body,
drink
and,
so
like,
much water,
drink water and take care of your skin, and you know, and like while at the same time like I do recognize like it's pretty cool, like I like it, I like the way it looks, but at the same time like as I just can't promote it because of all like the unhealthy things that like are associated with it.
It's honestly just depression.
Yeah,
it really is. It's romanticized depression. No, it's like insane. This really reminds me, this is kind of like, it's not totally random because it reminds me, but so American Horror Story was like a really big thing, right? And like all of those Ryan Murphy type things were Scream Queens. There was also like, what's the other one that I'm thinking of? I watched a little bit of it with my mom. I don't remember. It doesn't really matter. But Emma Roberts had to step down from a role from some other movie because she was like notoriously, like she was known for her unhealthy eating habits, let's say. She refused to do the movie Spring Breakers because they wanted her to eat like the regular diet of like a sophomore in college, and like that was too much food for her. Like she wouldn't do it, so Selena Gomez got the part instead.
That's actually insane. I did not know that.
I know. Emma Roberts,
what a complicated person.
One of my problematic faves, honestly. Like, I'm not even gonna lie.
I only know her from Scream Queens, to be honest.
Yes. Yes. I love her so much.
But I didn't know that. I didn't know that she was like notoriously like very small.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. When her and Evan Peters dated, they ruled Tumblr, but they were both kind of crazy.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. It reminds me of Ariana Grande and Pete Davidson dating each other.
Yes.
Like I feel like it's a very similar dynamic of who can out BBD each other.
Yeah.
Love them, but
it like people were kind of saying the same thing about Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello.
Yeah. Ugh.
They were a weird couple too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She kind of ruined him. Hi, people.
So many different things. But I feel like that concludes our episode for today. Thank you so much for listening to Everything Is this week.
Yeah.
Everything is Tumblr.
It is. We will see you
next
very
week.
soon.
Mwah.
Bye bye.